We're going back to the treasure trove that is the Batman Arkham series for Easter eggs. Now, actually, we're going to start doing some Easter eggs from other franchises too, including Spider-Man. But the thing with this is that there are just so many put in here by both Rocksteady and WB Montreal that it is just a gold mine of things to talk about from every continuity, really.
Oh, there sure are. It's plentiful. And they provided us with a fantastic amount of goods that we can sift through and enjoy.
Absolutely. I love it. And hey, before we jump into it, we have a secondary channel, Degenerate Plays, where we play through a wide variety of games. We hope you will check that out. We run it podcast style, so if you like us, or at least moderately don't hate us, you might enjoy that channel or moderately not hate it. We hope you will check that out and consider subscribing below. And we hope that today is the day where we earn your subscription on this channel as well. Now, let's hop right into it. Number 5. The first one that we have is actually Batwoman. Did you know that Batwoman exists in this universe? At least sort of. I mean, there's references that seem to make it appear that she also is Batwoman, but we know that Kate Kane exists.
Yes, yeah, it's awesome because when you're in Arkham Knight, there's very subtle nods to characters that you never really see or that you get to experience, but they're saying these people do exist in this universe. One of them was Lex Luthor on that same voicemail machine. You get to hear a long message from him, and this one here was directly from Kate Kane herself.
Bruce, it's Kate. You're coming to Maggie and I's engagement thing next week, aren't you? No one's seen you in months, Bruce. And you taught me the importance of keeping up appearances.
She was just calling, left a voicemail, said that she was going to attend an engagement with Maggie, who this Maggie is referencing a member of the Metropolis Special Crimes Unit over there. So it's kind of like a cool, the SCU, if you will. So there's a nice little reference in there of saying Kate Kane exists, which is cool because she's never mentioned outside of that, so she at least exists in the world.
I think there was like one other mention of her that I can think of, but I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. But this is basically it.
Right.
You know, like this is the most solid one. And the thing with this too is that there are some hints that she could also be Batwoman in this universe, because she does talk to Bruce about how he taught her the importance of keeping up appearances, and how she hasn't heard from him, and he's not. You know, you can kind of imply here he's not really showing up in his social circles much since the death of the Joker. So she's kind of saying like, hey, you're doing a bad job maintaining your cover.
Yeah.
So it's like she obviously knows. And also it kind of seems like why would he teach her about that if she wasn't also Batwoman? I mean, it just seems, it stands to reason that she is.
It definitely does. And yeah, although we never got to saw it, it's cool that she's involved in that way, in that she was, I think it can definitely be implied, like you said, that she was Batwoman in this case and is out at large doing her thing.
Number 4! The next one we have are the Rejected Assassins. This is actually on Black Mask's desk. Well, actually it's not his desk, but it's in his office. There's different files of possible assassins that didn't show up in Arkham Origins. So there was Cheshire, David Kane, and the Black Spider. These are all different characters that just never showed up in universe that apparently were thought of to, you know, be hired to take out the Batman by Black Mask, but it just didn't happen because he went with better people like Electrocutioner.
Which, I mean, he was great. His boss fight was some of the best stuff I've ever seen. And, I mean, to be honest with you, this is a cool reference, and I think it's an interesting Easter egg, but they didn't make it into the game for a reason. I just don't think anyone cares, you know, with all due respect to Cheshire.
Right, and that's why we got Electrocutioner, because he's a character that people do care about.
They're heavily invested
You're right,
in that.
I like that logic.
Yeah,
that's
no,
a good idea.
I think it worked out great, and I think you should shut up.
Well, it is interesting, though, that they do have these other characters referenced in Origins, just because it does... WB doesn't get enough credit, WB Montreal, for fleshing out the game universe and also making references to other stuff. For a game that did reuse parts of Arkham City and is heavily criticized for it, they did a great job tying into external lore and characters and being like, hey, listen, you know, we know that you're going to look at this a little harshly, but hey, check it out. We know the characters too.
Yeah, the Court of Owls reference that we mentioned in a previous video. I mean, they had a lot of deep stuff in there that, and I mean, it's obviously a meme that we've talked about before. The game is underrated and was underrated for a long time. I don't think it really is anymore because people appreciate it now that it's aged well.
Now people are annoying about it.
They are. They sure
how
are.
Underrated it is. But yeah, you're right.
WB Montreal really did care and show that they cared about these stuff on a very deep level. I think that's really cool.
Number 3. In intensive treatment, there's actually an area with a bunch of security collars as well, and different photos of Killer Croc. And this area contains a locker that has a photo of Killer Croc's hand with the message saying, "Hands off my locker." You can also see in this same area where the staff puts meat for Killer Croc to eat, where they funnel meat to him, basically. There's a lot to unpack here, too. Get it? Packed meat.
I like
you
that.
Understand it?
That was
That's
really
what they called
clever.
me in college.
They called you packed meat?
They call me packed meat.
I think that is a compliment. Yeah,
You don't
that's
have to
nice.
ask why.
Yeah, no, I want later. Yeah.
Yeah, later, after the video.
Yeah.
Here's the thing with this, though. The whole hands off my locker thing, they don't say this anywhere. It's not on the wiki or anywhere else. But I always thought that this is a reference to Cash.
That's what I thought. I was going to say there's
Yeah.
some nice hand humor going on
Yeah,
here.
because he just bit his hand off.
Yeah, he's got a hook now. Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's interesting. I mean, obviously it probably wasn't because he touched his locker, but
Well, who knows, though?
Who
dude? I don't
knows,
know.
really?
Yeah. You touch your lock,
you lose a hand.
that's it, dude. Rules are rules.
Yeah, exactly. Like what they used to do to thieves.
That's right.
Cut their hand off.
Yeah.
Killer Croc's an old-fashioned
He's
guy.
very old-fashioned. I'm sure that's exactly what he was thinking.
No, I don't know. It's just interesting. It's something you could very easily miss. I know it seems obvious, like, oh, it's all these pictures of Killer Croc, but honestly, the handful of times I played through this game, I don't know if I saw this.
I don't know if I did either. I don't know. And you see Croc a lot. I think it's different where you don't really see him a lot in the later games. So this is really where Croc gets his time to shine. But there's still a small Easter egg in there where you can kind of see something like that. I think that's great.
Yeah, I do too. Number two.
Yeah, so all over in Arkham City, there are newspaper clippings with the headline, "Criminal Couple Gunned Down and Boy Watches Parents Die." And this is mentioned previously in the Arkham Asylum bio, which we saw his picture, where we scanned the riddle, of course. And Prometheus, his criminal parents were killed, and he vowed vengeance, which is the opposite of Batman, obviously.
Well, an interesting thing, too, about that, to throw this in here, is we know that parts of the bios from Asylum are canon and parts aren't.
That's true.
Because they were later retconned. A lot of them are really just more bios about the comic version of the character. But it is interesting because that part definitely holds true to his origin. I mean, he developed because he watched his parents get gunned down by the cops.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. Which, similar to Batman, but... or not by the cops. No, it was opposite.
Yeah, it was by the cops.
Well, yeah, I guess I was saying Batman's.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't get gunned down by the cops. But
Well,
anyways.
who knows?
Yeah, that's a hot take.
Maybe
yeah.
they were cops.
Joe Chill, cop.
Who knows? Cop for hire.
That's cool,
Joe
man.
Chill, mall
Well,
cop.
Mall cop, yeah, I like
man.
that. But yeah, interestingly as well, in Mr. Freeze's GCPD laboratory, there's a dossier on the wall, and it's an old Arkham medical examination for Prometheus, saying he passed the test on November 12th, 1982.
Well, he's old.
He's an old guy, yeah. It's a real
Ancient.
problem.
His time's over.
I know, dude.
My time is now.
He's on the back nine, dude.
It's interesting, though, because we never get to see Prometheus. We just never do, but he's teased over and over and over again, and they really clearly did. I think they thought they were going to include him.
It feels that way. I mean, they I guess, planted the seed, if you will, in City right away. And
So did I.
Which was, I'm a big fan of that. But they had they planted the seed for Tweedledee and Tweedledum as well in there, with a riddle. But nonetheless, Prometheus, I think, would have been a great boss fight. I think there's a lot you could have done with him, so it is a bummer that he never showed up.
Yeah, there's really not a lot of anti-Batman characters in this franchise, other than, I guess, Arkham Knight and sort of Deathstroke.
Sort of, yeah.
Sort of, and not really.
Yeah.
I think that Prometheus could have filled that role very well.
Yeah. Number one. It's number one. So
there are tons of different Easter eggs, but the final one we have is actually a reference to the animated series. However, it's also because it shows up in universe. We know it's a character that exists in universe, in the Arkham universe. This is Harleys Repairs. Now, there was actually a business by the name of Harleys Repairs that's on Miyagani Island, I always mispronounce that, which is generally considered a reference to Harold Allnut. I love his last name. That's actually a guy that Batman saved from the Penguin. He actually went on to be the mechanic and engineer of the Batcave. He fixed the Batmobile in the one episode, too.
He did, yeah.
Of Batman, the animated series.
And he normally does. That's
Yeah.
his role. Is whenever
Yeah.
it gets messed up, he brings it over to Harold, and Harold touches it up quick.
It was really interesting. It's like he has almost an underground garage going on. And doesn't Wayne Enterprises kind of help him out? Like,
They do,
he
yeah.
funds, under the table, some money to him.
Yeah.
To keep him in business.
I think his daughter works. I think it was either his daughter or his son works there. And so, he's been doing that, I guess, for a long time, ever since Batman saved him from the Penguin, and he just kind of does it under the table like that.
So we don't know if he actually did that in this universe. We
Right.
don't know if he saved him or if he had anything to do with any of this. It seems like Lucius Fox more or less runs all the mechanical stuff. But it is interesting to know that this character very likely exists in universe.
You could maybe even say that it was when maybe Batman was getting started. Maybe that's a part of it, because they have so many nods to the animated series. Maybe in this universe, Harold was helping Batman get his Batmobile up and running in the beginning, and then Lucius Fox took over eventually. But
maybe it was kind of like the Batmobile in the new Batwoman show, where it was just a normal car.
that's really
Have
cool.
you seen that?
No, I haven't. That's
Oh, don't look it up.
disgusting. I don't want to.
Kind of funny. Anyways, let us know what you think in the comments down below. What was your favorite Easter egg on the list? Do you have other Easter eggs that you absolutely loved? And what are your thoughts about how WB Montreal and Rocksteady, yes, I said WB Montreal first because I just did, planted the seeds of Easter eggs in this franchise? Be sure to check out all the links in the description down below. Please, we really appreciate it very much. There's a lot of different things that you can check out down there for your own entertainment and amusement. We have lots of social media, Twitter, Instagram. We have a thriving Discord community that you are definitely welcome to join. And we have a secondary channel, Degenerate Plays, where we play through a lot of different games podcast style. Like I said earlier, we hope you check it out in the description down below. Have a fantastic day, and as always, stay shway.